All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Sorry for being a little bit late. I was doing another show that was kind of running a little bit long, but welcome to the Q&A session for Indie Quest. So if you guys are unaware of what that is, a few days ago, I announced that I'm going to be doing my very own Indie JRPG direct showcase kind of thing. So there'll be like new trailers for announced JRPGs. I'll have some games giving their release dates. Some games will be out that day. And we are very lucky enough to have one exclusive game reveal. So I'm very excited for you guys to see what that game is. But basically what this is going to be is just a Q&A, getting people to, if you had questions about the show or anything you were curious about, I wanted to just be here for 30 minutes, an hour, just however long people have questions for, and just answer whatever questions you might have regarding the show. Now, for anybody that doesn't even know what I'm talking about, allow me to play the Indie Quest trailer. I'm going to find the volume button so it's not too loud, because usually what happens is I end up playing these and then it's incredibly loud. So anyway, let me play the trailer so you can get a taste of what is to come, and then we'll get back into just talking about the show, how it came together, things like that, and then any questions that pop up, I'm happy to answer. So here is the trailer. So let's go ahead and play the trailer, and then I'll probably just leave it on loop while we're talking. Okay, so let me pause this. So yeah, it'll be next Thursday, May 29th, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And it'll be on my channel, The Gaming Shelf. So Addie's private night lesson, Addie Sensei's private night lesson, they were asking, so what indie games do you have in the show? What games are going to be in the show? So let me we'll go through the trailer piece by piece. We have one team in the chat right now. What's up? Something Classic team. Their game will be in the show. So let me just kind of go through this. So this game here, let's see. So this game is called The Time I Have Left. I put a little teaser out for that on whatchamacallit. I put that out on Twitter talking about what that is. It's a very visually striking. It's kind of like a game where the premise is the main character has 6 hours to live, and they're walking around this facility. It's really, really cool. This was one of the games, like when I was putting the show together, I'm like, I know that they've been dealing with some stuff behind the scenes, but I'm like, I need to have you guys in the show. Your game is just too freaking cool not to be in it. So that's the time I have left. And then this one is called Forge of the Fae. Very like classic style JRPG, pixel art, turn-based combat. But the art in that game is incredible. I saw it. I was like, man, I gotta have it on the show. And then what is this? Okay, this one I want to make sure people have proper expectations for. So this one is Runa. And Runa, I think it was last year or the year before, had a really big Kickstarter. And when I saw the game, I was like blown away. I was like, whoa, how are like 3 or 4 people making this? Like, that's incredible. I mean, just look at the scale of this city that they're in, like all the people moving around, the animated waterfall. So it's a lot for a small team. And the trailer is basically like a revised version of a trailer they already have out. So like the one that this clip came from, it's basically the same trailer, but they are swapping some pieces. So I don't want people to get too hyped, because I know when that game came out, people or announced, people were very excited for it. But it's essentially the same trailer. They are revealing like a new character from the game and the trailer, as well as some other mechanics and stuff like that. But if for people that have already seen the trailer and they're like, oh, is this the same one? You have to kind of put them side by side to like notice the differences. But there's some extra little things that they're giving us, so it won't be the exact same trailer. Good question here from Mecca. So is this going to be an annual thing or a one-time thing? My hope is that it becomes an annual thing. My hope is that this becomes wildly successful and that teams want to do it for next year. And yeah, I'd love to do it every year if it does well. Based on the reception so far, I think it's going to do very well. The announcement trailer on Twitter got like 120,000 views. My channel got like a crazy boost of like 600 subscribers in like a single day, which is a lot for me. So yeah, to answer the question, I definitely want this to be an annual thing if it's successful. So views would help make it yearly. Yes, obviously, that's really all that matters at this point. I don't have any sponsors or anything like that. Not actually, I might have a last minute sponsor, but right now there's no sponsors. But honestly, what it would be is, yeah, views. Like if a lot of people watch this, that's really all that matters. Because this is all about the teams. This, like for me, this is probably going to be a money losing venture, because I paid for custom key art, custom music, logo, like a bunch of different things. So actually, I'm not even going to show you. I want this because I want this to be a surprise, but I went on location to film bits for the show. And so obviously like the plane ticket for that cost something. Money to get into where that was cost something. So I put money behind this, but I'm there, unless the showcase gets millions of views, I probably won't make the money back, but I'm not worried about that. I'm happy to lose money this year. But really, a success would just be a lot of people watching it. That's mainly what it would be. Is there a way to support the project besides just liking and watching and subbing and stuff? I mean, for me, again, it would be more to support the teams. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask people to open Steam. Like, because I've been editing the show, and how it opens is basically I'm asking people to open the Steam or different game stores and wishlist the games. That's what I think would be the best way to support the teams, is to go wishlist these games. So when the time comes for the games to come out, you know when they come out. And wishlisting games actually really helps the teams. Like, it helps them in the algorithm. I don't know fully the extent of it, but wishlisting helps a lot. So that would be it. I'm talking behind the scenes with other like smaller showcases that they have like merch and stuff. So maybe in the future, I might do merch, but this year it's just too late. I don't have time to put something like that together. So maybe next year there might be like shirts and stuff like that. But for now, it would just be watching and helping the games. So yes, this is the team behind Quartet. He's like, wish lists help a ton. So my main focus is helping the teams. I really don't care what happens to me. For me, it's about helping the teams. It's about getting them wish lists. And like, I just did a podcast with 3 pretty hardcore JRPG creators, and they're going to be introducing games on the show. And they're like, when I saw the list of games, like I only knew like 3 of them. So, which is a good thing, because to me, that means the games that are going to be in the show, people don't know enough about. And so I just want to highlight the games, hopefully people see them and go, wow, I've literally never heard of this before, but it looks amazing. I can't wait to play it. Let's see. I want to get back to another question. Can you say if some of the games featured will come out this year? Yes. 2 of the games are going to come out the same day of the show. One game is going to announce the release date at the show. I've seen several trailers that have like a 2025 release window. So I don't have an exact count, but I would say several are going to come out this year. Yes. Let's see here. Let me continue going through the trailer, and then there's a lot of questions, so this is good. We'll get to everybody's questions. So let me go back. So this was Godshard Chronicles. So what's really cool is there's actually quite a few games that have like 2D animated cutscenes in their games, and yeah, this is one of them. So Godshard Chronicles, this is like a co-op action RPG. And I believe this one is Alterium Shift, if I'm not mistaken. So this is one of those games that's like, you can call it HD 2D, but it kind of reminds me of like PS1 era JRPGs where they had like basically 2D characters and then the environments were 3D. Okay, and this one is Last Moon. This is going to be an action RPG. This one is kind of more of a Zelda-like, but I think anybody watching is going to want to play this game just because it's so visually cool and the combat looks really neat. And then I think here we got so this is Quartet. We have something classic in the chat. So Quartet will be at the show. This is kind of, I don't want to misrepresent what it is, but it's kind of like a kind of an Octopath Traveler kind of game where there's like 4 different pairs of characters. They have different stories and then they kind of come together. So I like that premise. And the pixel art's really fantastic. Really cool trailer. I've been watching that quite a few times. And these next few go really fast, so I want to make sure I don't miss any. My Familiar, this game is got such a unique vibe. It's like you're these 2 kind of monster creatures. You're like, it's like a buddy cop RPG, but it's got like a Toe Jam and Earl kind of like funky soundtrack vibe to it. Really cool pixel art. I think this game looks really sick. And then this game, Zera's Adventure, man, you want to talk about a game that just has charm oozing out of every corner. Zera's Adventure, very charming, comedic, kind of has some platforming elements, but yeah, Zera's Adventure. Got the logo. Okay, this game, Tactics Returners. I had so many people in the comments of the announcement trailer, like, what is this game? What is this game? This is Tactics Returners. It's like a Final Fantasy Tactics style strategy RPG or tactical RPG. This game, I think, is going to blow people away. The trailer is really impressive. This is one of the very few games I've actually played. He was lucky enough to like give me a really like probably pre-alpha build, and it plays awesome. Like it's your prototypical like Final Fantasy Tactics style strategy RPG. It's really good. And then this game, Colossus Eternal Blight, very fun like action RPG looking game. Yeah, I just saw every time I was looking at the combat for this game, I'm like, man, this looks good. And then this game is Double Dungeon. Kind of has like clay looking characters. I just thought the art style looked amazing. And but yeah, this is also like a strategy RPG style game. Escape from Ever After. This is kind of like a Paper Mario inspired game. Really cool art style. It's like you're going through like kind of old fairy tales. Okay, this one is Artist's Impact. Gorgeous game, really unique style. Legends of Starcadia. I think this is one of the games that is going to surprise people. Like when they gave me the trailer, I was like, whoa, this trailer is really unique and stylized. They like did something really fun with it. So I think people are going to really dig Legends of Starcadia. This one is Discworld Creatures. It's kind of like a monster collecting Pokemon style game. I saw a lot of complaints. Where are the games from Japan? This is from a team from Japan. So for people that are complaining, like, where are all the games from Japan? This is one of them. This one's called You Are Not Bunny Girl. I just think this has just a funky, weird vibe. And when I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, I got to have these guys on the show, or this guy. It might be a one-person team. Okay, another game from Japan. This is Serial World. It's kind of sort of also like a monster collecting game, but it's like the combat is with cards. And this little guy, Milo, his weird stuff's happening in his town and he's kind of exploring it, but also a team from Japan. So this game is out, Starlight Legacy. This game is already out, but the console version comes out the same day as the showcase. So really cool 16-bit style RPG. I think it just didn't get marketing. I talked to the dev behind the scenes. I kind of feel bad for them, so I really wanted to highlight it in the show. It's just really well made, well put together. Nocturne. So the game has like Guitar Hero style combat, which is kind of funky. I like them doing something totally different. And then the last game is Light Fairy Tale, and they break their games up into like smaller episodes. And this one is like kind of a PS1 style game, which is fun. So that's kind of the art style, and they also have 2D animated cutscenes. But that's what matters. May 29th on YouTube. Okay, so let me get back to answering some questions here. So we'll turn that off. Okay, so I saw, how long is it going to be? So I haven't fully put it together yet, so I'm not sure, but I'm going to say a little over an hour, because right now I'm about a third of the way through putting the final edit together, and it's about 22 minutes right now. So I'm going to say an hour and change is what I'm going to say, maybe an hour 15. So again, some trailers are pretty long, some are really short. So it just depends on when I put it all together, how long it ends up being. As far as you're aware, are any of these games coming to Game Pass? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the workings of the deals that these teams have. Maybe. Don't know. Let's see. Cool. But yeah, I wanted to give, but feel free. I see a lot of people watching right now. So anybody that's got any questions, feel free to ask. But okay, this is a good question. So did the developers reach out to you? How did this project come about? So that's a great question, Isual. So basically, here's how it all started. Last year, during like the typical E3 summer showcase season, I noticed a lot of these smaller digital showcases popping up. Like the one that I saw was, I think it was called the Best Indie Games Showcase or something like that. But it was really long. It was like 3 hours. Like, oof. And there was like, no offense to that channel, got a lot of views, did very well, but there was really no production value to it. It was just sort of like trailer. It was just trailers. There was no production value to it. And then I saw all these other really small showcases. It was like 10,000 or less people watched it. And I'm like, I can get way more people watching, and I can do production value. So when you see this, we're going to have cool effects. We're going to have cool lower thirds. We're going to have custom music. Like I said, I flew to a Japanese location. I don't know how well that's going to come through in the clips that I filmed, but I really tried to make this special and unique, and add some production value to it with the time and the budget that I had. So anyway, so that's how it came about, basically, where I was just like, I saw these smaller showcases that had little to no production value and they weren't getting a lot of views. And I'm like, I can get the views and I can add production value. Plus, I just want to highlight cool indie JRPGs. So basically I started planning this a year ago. And what I did, how I found the games was I just went through Steam and I just found every JRPG that was set to release either in 2025 or beyond. And I just messaged them, like, in just games I thought looked cool. And I was just messaging them and I was like, hey, I'm putting this together. Do you think, would you want to be a part of this? And I tried my best to explain. And especially when you have nothing to show, it's kind of hard to explain. But I was like, think Nintendo Direct, but for just indie JRPGs. That's the best way I could pitch this to people that when I didn't have anything to show. And I would say like 99% of the people I messaged were like, yes, I'm totally down. You gave us a year heads up, so we should be able to put a trailer together in time. And then there were a couple teams that I really wanted in the show, but they were like heads down working on the game and they didn't have anything. Like one game I really wanted in the show was Elzara Radiant Echoes. But unfortunately, I messaged them a lot over the last year and they weren't ready. So that happens. But I want to share a kind of a fun story. There was one team that their last game came out, did all right. I look at the trailers views on their channel. Like, I could put literally anything out on my channel and I would get like double or triple the views. And so I reached out to the publisher. I was like, hey, I'm putting this thing together. Here's all the games. I think your game would be perfect. It's a Japanese team. And they're like, yeah, we kind of want to be in bigger showcases. And they were the only team that straight up said no. And so I'm like, all right. So I kind of have a little chip on my shoulder to show these guys, like, all right, I want you to regret not being in this. I'm not like being vindictive or nasty or anything, but just the fact that they didn't want to do that, they didn't want to participate. I'm just like, all right, I'll show you. You're going to be sad you didn't participate. And then honestly, here's something, this was kind of surprising that I found during this process. A lot of the teams work on each other's games. So like I would reach out to this one team and like, oh, we're actually working on these two other games. And I'm like, oh, really? I didn't know that. So there's a lot of crossover with the developers. So a lot of the games too, or some of the games were like, hey, what about this other game that I'm working on? Or my friend's working on this. Do you think this would fit? And I really tried to be picky. I really tried to not, I'm trying to say this in as nice of a way as possible. Like I only wanted like high quality games in the show. I didn't want to just have every Tom, Dick, and Harry's RPG Maker game. Although there are, Mecha asked this, like, are you going to include anything made with RPG Maker? I actually don't know the engines that a lot of these teams are working with. But I know a few are using RPG Maker, but I don't think any of the games are like off the shelf stock asset RPG Maker games. That's just the engine they decided to use. And then, yeah, it's like, so a lot of people that worked on Quartet worked on My Familiar and Forge of the Fae. Yeah. So that was an interesting revelation to discover through this process, was that a lot of people work on each other's games. So Alec said, you mentioned something classic. Does that mean we'll get more information on Quartet? Yes. Quartet will be in the show. You are going to get some exciting news about it. So yeah, if you're interested in that game, it will be at the show. Okay. And then tactical. Yeah, there's one for tactical RPGs. I think there's a series called like Gray Heritage that uses that, and there may be another game in the show that uses it, but I don't know. I'm talking specifically about the strategy RPG maker one. But yeah, as far as everything else, it was just a really fun process putting this together, like trying to, yes, Blind Coco's game. So well, yes. So that's, their game will be in the show. So that's another thing. So Mecha was like, are you going to have other content creators? So I'll be introducing some games, and then let me look at the page. Let me count. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we have 17 other creators that will be in the show introducing games. Probably the usual suspects that you would expect. So I don't want to name anybody. I want it to kind of be a surprise. But yeah, there'll be a lot of creators. There were, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. There were some that declined, or they were just too busy, that I really wanted to get. But I think this is one of those things where I have to prove myself. People are like, oh, what is this? I don't even understand what this is. So once this comes out and I think people see what it is, I think people will be much more inclined to participate next time. So that's why I tried really hard to make this good and interesting and do something unique that I hadn't seen other shows do. And I again, like I said, I talked to other shows or showrunners of other showcases, asking them how they did it, and trying to get some advice from them. So this was a learning year for sure. There was a lot of things I learned, some mistakes that I'll fix for next year. And I genuinely want everyone's feedback, because, it's for you guys to watch and enjoy. And I want to know, I want to hear about what you thought about the quality of the games, the pacing of the show, the production value, just like what you guys thought. So once the show ends, I'm going to put up like a feedback form that I'm hoping everyone will fill out, just so I can get feedback to know how to fix it for next year. I'll be live in chat. I'll also just watching everybody. So based on, what people say and how they react, I'm sure that'll be good feedback in and of itself. Cool. Appreciate you advertising it, Oz. Any chance, we got another question. Any chance Pixpill will make an appearance? The fact that I don't know what that is means it's not going to be there. Unless that's a studio name, but I don't. Here, let me look up what this is. Pixpill. They do Eastward. Right? Is that them? No. Yes, they made Eastward. No, they will not. But that's good to know in the future. Oh, they're from China. Okay. Shanghai. Okay. So yeah. No, unfortunately they will not. But perhaps next year. Let's see. Let's hold on. I have a spreadsheet of games that I'm going to be teasing over the next week. So I'm trying to see if there's any that I'm going to tease that I have not already mentioned. Okay, so I already mentioned Serial World. That's in the trailer. Time I Have Left, Forge of the Fae, Tactics Returners, Alterium Shift, Guard Shard Chronicles, Quartet. Okay, the only one that wasn't in the trailer that I'm gonna do a teaser for, that I'm fine to talk about, is Kingdoms of the Dump, which sounds like a silly name for a game, but go look that up. That game is incredible. The new trailer is amazing. They have a lot of fun with the trailer. So Kingdoms of the Dump will be there. And then I'm definitely not going to say what this is or what team is making it, but there is like I said, a mystery game announcement. And all I'm going to say is I think people are going to be very surprised when they see this game. They've been like showing me pieces slowly over the course of the last year, and I'm like, oh, this is such a cool idea. So once they actually unveil it, I think people will be very cool. Or I think people are going to like it. Let's see. So yeah, those are the only games I want to mention for now. Otherwise, I want people to be surprised. Okay. Something classic knows what it is. Okay. Well, yeah, lip sealed. I'm not saying what it is. Would you consider Astria Ascending an indie RPG? I think I would, because they did that themselves. I mean, from a technical standpoint, indie, I think it's an indie game. That was another game I tried to get on the show. I was just talking about this game. They have a new game coming out, Lost Helden. So the next game is called Lost Helden. That game looks amazing. I tried to see if they could put something together, but I think that game is getting too much traction and it's going to be in other shows. So Lost Helden will not be on the show. That's the same team that made Astria Ascending. That's why I'm mentioning it. But yeah, I would consider them indie. Yeah, because indie is so broad at this point, right? Like, what does that even mean? But I think it's the spirit of the game. And size obviously is a big deal. But let's see. Any Kickstarter launches mentioned during... I think there's a game... I think there's at least one game that might launch their Kickstarter either during the show, or the Kickstarter will be ongoing when the show starts. So I think there's at least one. I know there's other games that are like constantly doing self-funding, but I know of at least one that's going to have a Kickstarter. But I don't want to say what it is. You'll have to tune in and see what it is. Indie equals pixel art, obviously. Yep. So that was another challenge. And as I've been slowly putting the show together, I really didn't, because like I would say the majority of the games, not the vast, but I would say the majority of the games are pixel art turn-based games. And so as I'm putting the show together, I was trying to be very mindful of not putting too many back to back. Like, okay, here's a 3D game, then a pixel game, or here, mix it up. So, because I saw one comment I saw that I really took to heart was, could this get stale? It could get stale, like if it's just JRPGs. Like, okay, God, how many turn-based combat systems back to back do people want to see or put up with? So I've been very mindful of that too. Been trying to mix up, like, okay, let's not have too many turn-based games back to back. Let's have a turn-based and then an action and then a strat or whatever. So that is something that I'm very curious to see how people receive that, or what they think of that, because I don't want fatigue or people to get bored. We're going to be the next Chrono Trigger. Oh God, how many times have we heard that, right? And it would be cool to have Arm Fantasia and Penny Blood. There may be a mention of those guys. Yeah, they're not going to have a trailer, but I do want to have them on. You'll see what I mean. Don't get excited or anything, but I agree that team needs help, and so I'm going to use this opportunity to try to help them. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I've actually tried to talk to those guys. I sent them DMs with Google translated Japanese, and I never heard anything. So I don't know what's going on with those guys. But yeah, that would have been awesome, man. If they came in at the 11th hour and they're like, "Oh, hey, we got a new trailer," that would have been cool. But anyways, I've lost my train of thought. But I guess I was talking about pacing. Yeah, I've been very mindful about pacing, trying to make sure during the show that every game gets their shine, and not just. I don't want anybody to get. I mean, there's going to be games that are going to outshine everybody just based on their production value, or they do something interesting. But I want to make sure each game kind of gets their moment. That's why I have so many creators announcing games, and I have special little bits where I'm introducing games, or I'm introducing like sets of games, because there's like a handful of games that are trying to maybe do something funky and unique. So I'm like, oh, here's some unique games, or here's some games with this art style. Please don't have a lot of commercial breaks and telling people to get off the stage. Well, let me be very clear about this too. It will debut live, but it's not like I'm not sitting here in my room live doing it. Like, it's going to be a video that's going to be debuted live. So everything is going to be pre-recorded. There's like zero aspect of this that's going to be produced live. So Mecca's joking about like commercial breaks and things like that. I know you're being silly. But yeah, I don't think I'm talking to a sponsor right now. We were going to do it just for a normal video, but I'm seeing if they want to do it during the show, because I think this is going to get way more eyes on it if it's during the show. Plus, it's like the most captive audience of JRPG fans, because it's for a upcoming JRPG, but I don't know if that's going to work. But yeah, I mean, straight up in the future, I would love to get sponsors, just because, it's a lot of work, and I'll get YouTube revenue, but that's about it. So that'd be great to think of other ways to monetize it. But any sequels or expansions? Let me look at the list. I know at least one off the top of my head is a sequel. So let's see. We got one. Two. Okay, yeah. I think two. Two are sequels. There's this other one. I don't know what these guys are doing. So there's one game where they're trying. If you go to their Twitter, they have this video, and I'm not going to say what the game is, but they talk about like this universe of games. So I don't know if they have other games already. So there could be a potential third that's a sequel, but I really don't know. But I know for sure two are sequels. Let's see. An indie game that looks like a Vanillaware game. There is a game that straight up copy that art style. It's called something of the sword, like Legend of the Sword. It's got a really generic name, but there is a game that has that art style. I can't remember what it's called. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, please put it in the comments. But it's really short. It's like 4 hours or something, but it's like Legend of the Sword or something of the Sword. Indie game, Vanillaware art style. What is it called? It's gonna bug me. Oh well. Sword of the Vagrant, yes. Yep, Sword of the Vagrant, that's it. Yeah, Sword of the Vagrant. Yeah. That's the only one I can think of. But that's such a unique art style. That's like saying, oh, are there any games with like Akira Toriyama's art style? It's like such a unique art style. I feel like people would think you're ripping off that style if you try to do that. I don't think I own 2 indie game sequels. That's cool that they're having the success to do it. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. I can't really think of really any indie JRPG sequels. I mean, there was 8-Bit Adventures 2. That's a sequel I can think of off the top of my head. Dark Deity 2. That game's really good. Like a tactical RPG. Trying to think of any other indie JRPG. I mean, there's just, I feel like the idea of indie JRPGs is so new that there's like almost not been enough time to have sequels. And then honestly, I think the other thing too is like, I think indie developers like to just do different things. Because if you think about like, okay, the team behind Sea of Stars, their last game was The Messenger, which was like a 2D side-scrolling game. And then there was a game I wanted to have, or a team I wanted to have in this show. And I can't remember the name of the game. It was like a cyberpunk style game, very short. The main character had like a pink jacket, pixel art game. But anyway, I messaged them and they said their next game's not going to be my mind just went blank. They said their next game's not going to be a JRPG or an RPG. It's going to be something else. Yes, Keylocker. That's the one I'm talking about. Keylocker. Yeah. Yeah, Keylocker. That's a great game. Yeah, I was talking to them and they said their next game's not going to be an RPG, unfortunately. And then I love this. I wouldn't recommend making JRPGs. We didn't take this advice. Yeah, game development's hard, man. You got to have a passion for it. You got to just love what you're doing. So, are all the games for Steam or are on other platforms? They're not all on Steam. I would say the majority are on Steam, but let me look at the list. I don't know off the top of my head which games have mentioned which other platforms, but I can say, because I just having looked at the trailers and looking at the end screen that says the platforms, they're not all just Steam. I know quite a few are like, PlayStation, Switch, Xbox type of stuff. Yeah. But I think that about covers everything. I really appreciate everyone tuning in. I hate to waste with this many people watching, almost 200 people in here watching, which is awesome. But I'm happy to hang around for maybe another 15 minutes, but then I gotta go finish working on the show and get on with the day. I'm on the opposite time zone as everybody else. It's 11 a.m. for me right now. But yeah, this is also on Twitter, Mecca. So I think that's where most people are watching. And I feel like, so I'm on StreamYard, and what it does is it like, I can pick what platforms I want to stream to, and it just multi-streams to everything. I think the Twitter numbers are fudged somewhat. Because whenever I stream, this is the first stream where I've done multi-streams where somebody from Twitter commented. So I just think those numbers are kind of fudged a little bit. But yeah, so once again, Indie Quest. It's next Thursday, May 29th. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. On this YouTube, if you're on YouTube, it'll be on this YouTube channel. It will not be streamed on Twitter because I know most people right now are on Twitter. I don't know how to do that. So for now, it's just on YouTube. But in the future, if I can figure that out, how to do multi-streaming with a VOD, excuse me, maybe I'll figure out a way to do that. But yeah, we've got over 40 games. Let me look at the final count. I'm still waiting on a few trailers, which is a little worrying, but that's okay. So I think it's going to be 44 games in total, maybe a few extras that I didn't count. But yeah, it looks like 44. Let's see. Off topic, but happy to answer this. What's one RPG you're most looking forward to or hope will be announced soon? As far as playing, one that's coming out very soon is Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. I'm really excited about that game. That game comes out next Friday, I think, May 30th. No, they delayed it because of the Switch version. So I think it comes out June 5th or 6th or whatever the Switch comes out. Very excited for that. I've had friends that have played that and said it's really fun. I love the visual style. I just love those kinds of games. So really excited for Rune Factory. The rest of the year is kind of empty. I'm trying to think of what else is coming out this year. Yeah, we'll see. As far as announcements, I mean, we've got the Summer Game Fest in a couple weeks. I've been perpetually waiting for that Final Fantasy Tactics remaster, with Square Enix basically saying they're pushing back a lot of their developments. You know, them doing a lot of remasters. This is like the remaster I want, so I'm hoping that they finally reveal that. There's obviously been a lot of rumors about a Persona 4 remake, and Persona 6 has been in development forever. So I'm hoping one of those two games gets announced. I'm a huge Persona fan, so would love to see either of those two games announced. Let me just take a quick look at what games have been announced. I can use one video as a reference. So let's see. What is the Trails in the Sky remake. Yep, excited for that. You know what game I'm weirdly excited for is Eden Zero. It's like an action RPG based on the anime, and it's being made by Konami. So it's very strange, or it's not strange. It's strange that Konami's making it. I don't know what the quality is going to be. They've been very like dodgy when they show gameplay of it, but I'm hoping that it turns out well. But let me look and see if there's anything else that I'm missing. Okay, RPG site has everything. So we're in May. Fantasy Life, I know came out. I definitely want to check that out. Yeah, that Raido Kuzunoa game looks cool too. I've never played that, so I'd be down to check that out. Persona 5 The Phantom X. I know it's a mobile gotcha game. People hate that crap, but I want to play it. Let's see. Lost Soulside. I know that's a Chinese game, but Lost Soulside coming out August 29th. I've actually played that game forever ago. It's probably not even the same game, but I've played that, so that'll be interesting. All right. What else? I'd like the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remakes. I'd actually like to play those just to say that I've beaten Dragon Quest 1 and 2. Of course, every game that's going to be in the showcase, I'm very excited for. But yeah, honestly, I think this showcase might be the perfect timing because the second half, sorry for the shaky camera, the second half of 2025 is really pretty barren in terms of JRPGs. So this might be a good chance for all these indie JRPGs to kind of like fill in the gaps and really, do well. Final Fantasy 9 remake, yeah, we've been hearing about that forever. That is interesting. Fantasy Life had more peak players on Steam than Doom: The Dark Ages. That's wild. I don't know what that means, but that's, I don't know. I get what I mean by that is I don't know if that means Fantasy Life is doing really well or Doom didn't do well, but either way, that's funny, I think. Cool. Well, I think that'll do that for this Q&A, guys. But again, I really appreciate everyone coming out. For all the teams who have been participating in Indie Quest, I really appreciate you trusting me to put on this show and taking the time to make brand new trailers, because all the trailers that are going to be in the show are like brand new. You're not going to see them anywhere else. So the fact that they like took the time to make these new trailers means a lot to me. I don't take that lightly. That I know how much work putting that kind of thing takes. So it means a lot that you were willing to do that. And a lot of creators are going to be in the show. So I appreciate the creators taking time out of their schedule to put pieces together for this. And just everybody just for watching. Anybody that's new who subscribed to the channel or followed me on Twitter and are curious about this, just super grateful that everybody is going to be just watching this. And I really just hope people watch. I put so much time and work into this. Now it's just all that's left is I just hope people tune in and watch. And so that's it. Hope you guys have a good week. We'll see you about this time next week for the show. Hope you find something that you can play. Hopefully many games that you'll be excited for. Here's my real hope. My hope is that people come into this thinking, oh, I know Indie JRPGs. And then they see like 10 games. They're like, I've never even heard of that. And that looked amazing. That's really my hope, is that people come in and are blown away at the quality of the games and are surprised at games that maybe they had never heard of before. So that's really what I hope for. And that the teams get a lot of wish lists and, just a lot of new eyes that they wouldn't have got otherwise. So anyways, I'm going to head out, but thanks so much for tuning in. I'll be doing some more teasers of games over the next few days. And then it'll be the big show on Thursday. So have a good week, guys. Have a good weekend. And I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.